Hey everyone, I'm Jay,
I'm Sweaty.
and this is Star Wars Conversations.
Hey, how we doing, Jay?
Yeah, good man, how are you?
Bloody hot, mate.
Yeah? I know, I'm loving it, man.
Yeah, I ain't built for the heat. I just get sweaty. It's not fun.
Yeah,
But it's better than being cold, I guess.
it is much better than being cold.
It looks nicer.
It does. See? So many good things that come from the sun.
Oh,
and if you lived on somewhere like, say, I don't know, Jakku or Tatooine, then you would...
or some other desert planet.
Or one of the thousands of desert planets in Star Wars, then you'd have to adjust to the heat, man. Maybe you can wear like some bandages and stuff like that, like Tusken Raiders, and like some robes.
I think that might be a good look. That might be the way to survive.
It would be a good look for you, for sure. I think you should do it.
It definitely would be an improvement.
Maybe on next week's show, your head will be wrapped in bandages.
Maybe. Right, so you okay though? Yeah, you're all good?
Yeah, man, I'm all good. You know what? Shall we just get on with it and see what's happening?
Yeah, let's do it.
Around the Rim. We need to get
Around the
animation
Rim?
for Around the Rim. We need
Yeah,
one
we
of our
seriously
lovely
need to sort that
viewers who are on the Facebook group Star Wars Conversations to maybe do a little animation. I know exactly what I want for it as well. I want it like a news intro, and I've even got a bit of music. It's 9 seconds long. But I actually want it to have the Death Star spinning and the words around the rim go round it and then stop at the front. I think that would look really cool.
Well, I could do the picture of that, but I couldn't do it. I don't know how to do it.
You need it animated, dude. It's got to be animated.
Well, what about if we get like loads of pictures and flip book it at the beginning?
Just like hold it up to the camera and flip book it.
Yeah.
Keep it low budget.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously that would be a shocking visual difference in the rest of the podcast.
It
but,
definitely would.
Okay, so our first bit of Around the Rim is Forces of Destiny.
So we've had 4 episodes released now. There's 2 Rey, 1 Princess Leia, and 1 Ahsoka.
I've just seen another Princess Leia
you
one.
watched the 5th one? Okay, I haven't watched the 5th one. I've only watched 4.
And that's the second best one.
Oh, is it? Okay. So you've obviously watched all of them. What do you think, Colin? What do you think of them?
I actually like them. I think they are fun little things. I like the fact they're really short. That's always a winner for me. But again, they don't really. The Rey ones were okay. They didn't really do much. They seem to be just like filling in little gaps in between scenes that we've already seen.
Yeah.
So the Rey ones were about her rescue after she rescued BB-8, and then a few more people trying to capture. So that's just 2 episodes there.
Yeah, that was something that we didn't see in the movie.
Yeah, they were just scenes we haven't seen.
Yeah.
The Ahsoka one, which was my favourite because it's got Ahsoka in it.
Oh, you like her, don't you?
She's my fave. She's the best. Old Sticks.
Snips. Good snips.
Oh, yeah, I know. Listen, it's hot and sweaty. I can't think. Saturday morning. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, that one was all right. That was her rescuing some little alien things before she was supposed to meet Yoda at the Force Tree. And that was quite cool. Oh, we'll need to talk about something else later. That just reminded me.
Okay.
And also, there's the Princess Leia one, the 2 Princess Leia ones. One is after her and Wicket defeat the Biker Scout and they're on their way back to the Ewok village. Mm-hmm. And they have to deal with a couple more Biker Scouts. And then the new one, which is I think the new one is the best one.
Okay.
Is set on Echo Base, and it deals with the deleted scene from Empire where the Hoth Wampers are all locked away.
Snow troopers and that.
Well, you find so basically she's looking for Chewie, and Chewie's supposed to be digging out the corridors.
Right.
And she goes down there, and there's a Hoth Wampa asleep with Chewie wrapped up under its arm, because obviously he thinks Chewie's some kind of baby. And then C-3PO wakes up the thing, and then they have to escape, and then they lock them in that room. So it just fills that story.
Now in the canon, Chewie slept with a Wampa.
Yeah, I sent you a picture. What crap? The only thing I would say is the Leia in this is a lot more fighting and jumping around than she ever has been in any of the films, and that isn't really her character, if you ask me.
Yeah,
she's not someone who jumps between Wampa legs and slides around and things like that. So that just seemed a bit off. But I guess if this wasn't canon, I'd really like it.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of the first Clone War cartoon, which I really loved.
With the samurai jacket.
Yeah, really loved those. They were cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do you think of them, Jay?
Well, as you know, I love anything Star Wars, no matter how crap it is.
You do, don't you?
So, yeah. So, look,
But in that level of your loveness, there is a range.
So look,
there's a really love, and then there's a begrudgingly love.
Yeah. Okay, look, let's put it this way. The thing I like about them is that they're 2 minutes long, because I didn't want to watch them, and I was like, oh, God's sake. So I watched them because of this, because we're doing this show. So I forced myself to watch them, and I was like, thank God they're only 2 minutes long. They were better than I thought they were going to be. There's the positive. I thought they're better than I thought they were going to be.
Well done, Jay. Nice. Is this going to be a shit sandwich, Jay?
Maybe. I think the art sucks balls, right? It looks like something that anyone could have done on paint, right? It's just awful. And the thing I hate about that is that, like, Star Wars could look so cool in animation, but yet they never do good art on it. They just use, oh, this looks crap, let's do that. And I don't get that, for one. I know they're shorts, but I can go and look at some amateur animation on YouTube that will be 1,000 times better than anything I saw there, right? The stories, yeah, they fill in gaps. Now, the Chewie one that you just told me about, I didn't know about that, and I think that's ridiculous. But they fill in gaps that I never needed to know about. Like how Leia got her dress from fucking low-grade Chief Chirper. And then she was like, oh, do I get a spear with that? Yeah, all right, I don't care, all right? The bit with Rey saving BB-8, and I know, like, they're aimed at kids, and aimed at me, and I know it's a bit of fun, right? So I understand all that, right? Firstly, Finn struggled to hold BB-8. Rey doesn't, so she's much stronger than him, for one.
But she's got the Force.
The bit where Tebow comes after them, right? Or Tito, or whatever his name is.
Tebow, yeah.
Yeah, so in the movie,
I like Lou Matt best.
In the movie, right, at that point, she's
and
just
Plapu.
like, piss off, and he goes, right? So then when did this bit happen? Like, when is this? When is this? And I don't really see the point of it. None of it was worthwhile. I just don't. It's like a lot of effort to show me nothing.
So look, Jay, I think today's episode is going to have a theme across it, which is what's the point? So yeah, I mean, I agree, and the whole. I don't agree that I don't like it, because I do like it, and I think there is room for lots of different types of Star Wars animation and stuff like that.
I'm begrudgingly watching.
And like I said, what I do think is missing is a really, as you say, high quality Star Wars anime type, like really bloody good action led Star Wars. I think they're completely missing a trick. There isn't something like that out.
And they could actually do a spin-off, story that fits into the canon, but hey, we're doing this one animation. That'd be cool. I'd totally be up to watching that.
I think, to me, unless it's live action, it don't count, apart from the books, because that's in my head.
Yeah.
On TV or film, if it's not live action, in my head, it don't count.
Well, whether this counts or not, it makes no difference. The only thing that, as far as I can tell now, that would count is that Chewie slept under a Wampa's arm, which is ridiculous. Like, and I know it's aimed at kids. I know it's for little kids. But the thing is, I watched A New Hope when I was a little kid, right? As did you. If this was my introduction to Star Wars, I probably wouldn't be a Star Wars fan now. I'd be like, I hate that. It's stupid. I'll go and watch He-Man instead. You know, or something like that.
Zoinks!
Yeah, right.
That definitely wasn't stupid.
or Thundercats or something else. Do you know what I mean? Thundercats was awesome. Don't say anything bad about Thundercats.
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever-living!
Snarf.
Ancient
Wily Cat. Anything to do with Wily Cat and Wily Kit?
It was still better than crap. Even the animation on that was better than this. And that's back in the 80s. You know. Anyway, so, I mean, unless you've got anything more to say about it, I have nothing more to say about it. I watched them because we're doing the show, but otherwise I really didn't want to watch them and I didn't find them worthwhile.
Well, I enjoyed them, and I'd love to hear from our viewers and listeners to find out what they thought of them.
So would I, actually. I'd like to know what everyone thinks. So there's a nice comment section below where you can leave comments, and there's also the lovely Star Wars Conversations group where everyone should join.
Or you can tweet us.
Or tweet us, which you'll see up here somewhere on your left. So anyway, what else?
Let's talk more about Star Wars Canon, Jay.
Okay, let's talk more about Star
There
Wars
was an
Canon.
interesting article you sent me, dude, about the fact that the Star Wars Canon is unchanging and not really open to interpretation. Tell me more about what they're saying.
So I'm going to post this on the. I think I posted it on the group already. It's StarWarsNewsNet.com put out this thing, and it's about Pablo Hidalgo making some posts that people have interpreted in different ways that may not be entirely correct. It's a long article, so I'm not going to really go into all of it, but the gist of it that I got was that what he's saying is that in Star Wars, all the events that happen, right? The big events and everything. But the details of those events can be open to interpretation, almost like if you look at history, yeah? So, you know, we'll know that there's certain things that definitely happen in history, but there could be conversations that, it kind of happened like this. Do you know what I mean? So they take an example of where Finn sees Poe in the X-Wing, and he's like taking out all the TIE fighters, and he turns around and goes, "That's one hell of a pilot." And then in the young adult, or in the younger reader book, they changed it to, "That's a heck of a pilot," right? And he's like, so they're both canon. It could have been that, or it could have been that, right? And then one of his things that he said was about, say, Han Solo and Greedo. He's like, what is known, I find it, all that's canon is that 2 people entered that booth and Greedo died. Reports vary. Right? Did Greedo shoot first, or?
But we saw in the film he did.
Well, but there's 2 versions, right? There's the original one, which I go by. And
but that's not canon, though, is it?
It is for me. I don't believe in the stupid one where Greedo misses by like 5 meters from point blank. That's just retarded. So, I mean, I never watched that version. I refuse to watch it. It's stupid. But yeah, so apparently that's how the canon's working now. It's a bit more that it could have happened, or it could have happened like this, which kind of works for me. That's better in some respects, because now I can take the one that I like, and I think it must be because of this, because obviously the big GL said no, it's this way, and fans were like, "Oh, that's stupid. I prefer the original way." Do you know what I mean? So I guess now the story group are going, "Okay, well, you know, it's not like."
But then isn't it contradictory? Isn't this whole
things change in the books as well? They're slightly different in books than they are in the movie, right? Like even conversations, and they said that whatever happens in the films is canon, but extra bits that are in the novels are also canon. So
it sounds to me like that backpedaling, Jay.
I think they
because
are,
it sounds like they came up with a crap idea about making everything canon, and then now they've realised it's absolutely impossible, and well, it is impossible, and it's insane.
Yeah, and there's stuff in there that, I mean, you know, like Disney got Star Wars from Lucasfilm, obviously, and they bought Lucasfilm, and maybe there were things that, you know, these guys also are like, oh man, I wish we could, you know, not have it exactly like that. So having it this way kind of
Like the
gives
prequels.
a little bit more freedom. The whole of the prequels could have happened, but maybe it happened differently.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But even that though, the story of the prequels and the events that happen are cool. But
Next, you'll be telling me that Anakin didn't kill a load of younglings.
no, he totally did. He totally did. Yeah. I think they're going to release a new version where you see it.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be your animated version.
Right? Like the heads exploding.
It'd be Anakin kills kids, and it'd be him killing all the Tusken Raider kids, and then all the Padawan
They'd
kids.
just do a whole movie of that. Just Anakin killing kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what do you? I mean, obviously, as you said, you think like it's a bit of backpedaling. I mean, as I say, it's a longer article, and there's a lot more in there that kind of clarifies it a bit more. But that is the kind of gist of it. Is the big events definitely happened, and as with history, like conversations, little things that happened may have happened this way or may have happened a different way.
Yeah. Well, my view is, first of all, don't retread things they've already done already. That would be a good start. Let's not put things in certain time periods. I'm not going to say it. Let's not put things in between scenes of films where they've obviously been deleted for a reason, because it's boring and slows the story down, and we don't need to know it. I like things being left to interpretation. That's probably one of the best things about Star Wars. When we only had the original trilogy, there was so much things that I'd mentioned that we didn't actually know what they were.
They left mystery there that made it
yeah,
better.
and you just had to imagine what the Clone Wars was. You had to imagine what this bloody shit thing that Luke was flying around was actually for. You know, all these different things.
Oh, the Clone Wars looked so different in my head until I saw the movies, and in my head it was better.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Jay, in your head, most things are better.
They really are.
Yeah, it's a lovely place to live. So my view is, I'm quite happy if they're saying things can be left to your own interpretation. I'm quite happy if they, but I think there needs to be a. I mean, it's just never going to happen. There needs to be less things, because there's too many things trying to tell Star Wars stories now. And if they are, and the thing is, the whole point of the Star Wars universe is it's so bloody massive. There's no need to tell the same stories. I think we said this last week. I'm getting really fed up with the same thematics cutting across all the different current stories. I don't want to see any more bloody grey Jedis. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
You know, I don't want to hear about all these same little themes just repeating themselves and repeating themselves and repeating themselves. It's overdone. So, yeah. That's my rant.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just going to go off the screen for a second. Right, I'll be back.
I think we've suddenly cut to Hoff.
Oh, yeah, it's Hoff back there. What do you want?
It's not just that inexpensive background.
No, it's a snow scene back there. I did it all myself.
Yeah, lovely. Well done, Jay.
No, I think you're right. There's, it is a huge... it's a universe, like the galaxy's massive. There's so much to explore there, and
timelines as well.
Yeah,
it's a massive. The Jedi's and the Siths go through such a long period.
I understand the initial part of covering a few bits that we know just to get everyone back in Star Wars, like they did with Rogue One, and obviously they're going to with Han Solo. But they do need to start moving away from it a little bit and give us some of the other stories. Tam Posler.
Yes, Tam Posler. We want to know about
the same
Tam
time
Posler.
zone, so you could use it, but it's a different story. So it's new characters, except for Ponda Baba and Ezan.
Like, for instance, I've got that Rebel Rising book still to listen to.
Right.
I've had it for ages. I just don't care. I don't want to know any more about Jin. I've seen what I've seen. I've had enough of Jin.
Well, as you said, like they do start to put the same thing in every part of Star Wars. You know, and while I like the female lead characters, but now in everything the lead is a female. Like it's not you can't have like, hey, there's 5 stories here. In 4 of them, in 3 of them it's a female lead. In one of them there's 2 leads, which is a male and female, and in the other one it's a male lead. Like, you know what I mean, or something like that. It's just got to be like it's all or nothing, and it's like.
Jay, I'm gonna say something controversial. We might need a controversial warning here.
Okay.
The Force of Destiny, to me, instead of empowering the female characters, are making them interchangeable. My view, for what I've seen so far, that could have been the same character in all of those episodes. There wasn't anything majorly different about what they did. They all were just. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying strong women is a generic.
No.
But what did they do that was different? That was about. I mean, I think my point is Leia is more powerful through her politics and using her brain.
Yeah.
And all she did in this Echo Base episode was roll around and help. She distracted the Hothwampa while Chewie fixed the door.
Yeah.
That to me isn't what Leia does.
And then,
that wasn't her character.
With the Grey Jedi, for example, I know that it looks like they're going towards Episode 8, Luke being a Grey Jedi and all that. So now in everything, there's Grey Jedi. But there weren't before. Like, we didn't see them before, so they don't need to be rammed down our throat. It's so much nicer when you're aware of them, they're there, they exist, but they're in this.
It's like they're trying to build.
We don't need to focus everything on the same thing all the time.
Well, they're trying to build all this mythology in a period of 2 or 3 years. That just use the mythology that's already there.
Yeah.
There's enough, and we don't need it all in 2 or 3 years.
No.
We know Star Wars is not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't need to chuck it all at us at once.
That's right. I think they do need to take a step back on some of this stuff, pull the brakes on it, and go, okay, we can be patient, wait, and then we'll do some other stories. And going slightly off topic, but I have mentioned recently that with Battlefront 2, I'm not excited about it. Well,
I am.
Well, as of yesterday, I might be a little bit, because I watched the latest episode of Collider Jedi Council. And the woman who's the main character in the game,
she
cool. was a guest on there. And after listening to her talk about it, I was like, okay, I think I might want to buy this now. So
I'm going to buy the deluxe edition.
Yeah, I'm not sure if what extra do you get in the deluxe edition?
I don't know. I don't care.
I'll have a look. I'll see what there is. If it's
you get
much,
leveled up earlier, which is always going to be handy. For me, as a crap game player, that would be useful.
I need to have a look at it and really get an understanding of what's going to be in this game, because I mean the story mode sounds interesting, and I really do want to get the audio book for the book that's coming out leading into it, 'cause she's doing all the voices for that. And she did say on that show that that book leads into the game. So
it's meant to be really good. It's done by Christy Golden, isn't it? So it's a very good book.
Yeah, I'm interested in that now. So I've changed my opinions there a little bit.
But I'll tell you why you're interested, because that's in a period of time that we haven't really gone into.
Yeah, I guess so. It's actually also from a different perspective as well, because listening to her talk,
it's a different story.
She was sort of saying how, like, she really...
It's a strong female lead.
Character. It's a strong female lead, but she said she really got into character, and this time we're getting a character who's an Imperial, who wholeheartedly believes in what the Imperials are doing. And I really like that. That's a cool
Well, you already do, so...
I do, but I'm interested to see, this, because she was talking about the Death Stars being destroyed, and she is going, in her character's mind, she's like, these are my friends up there who've just been killed, people that I've spent time with, they're all my people, how dare you do that? And I'm like, like, that interests me. I'm interested to hear this book here, because I will go for the audio, and and now I'm interested in at least playing
Well,
story mode on the game.
Well, first of all, you won't get it on the UK's Audible probably,
We'll have to
and
get
second
the
of all, again, similar themes to that Lost Stars book, where you definitely had, particularly when the first Death Star was blown up, you definitely got that view, didn't you?
Yeah, and I know it is sort of similar to that, but it's coming out with the game, and then I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give this a go. So anyway, we've got a lot to get through today, so should we get on to the next topic, which kind of leads into the canon one a little bit? Well, the canon one leads into this.
We're going to do a quick Fist of Fury!
Right, so this one...
You lead us through this one.
So my friend RJN...
RJN? What kind of name is that?
Rob J. Nathan. He sent me this this article. It's a theory, and he was like, "What do you think of this?" And obviously, like, he goes, "Is this canon, or what's the actual canon on this?" So with the last one saying things may have happened in one way, and maybe in another, and this one is the theory about Padme didn't die of a broken heart. So it's talking about how Palpatine had more to do with Padme's death. It goes into the whole power of
the story of
saving people,
Darth Plagueis,
and how from across the stars, Palpatine was able to siphon her life force and give it to Anakin to give him his life. So he did use the power to stop someone from dying.
So basically he transferred her life force to Anakin to make sure he survived after being turned into a crispy wafer.
Yeah. And so I'll post this on the group. I've asked him to post on the group. I don't know if he's done it already.
He has.
Okay, cool. So it's on there now. So it's well worth read. Again, it's quite a long read, but it's worth going through because the guy breaks everything down as to why he thinks this happens. And have you read the whole thing, Colin?
I have. It was a long read, though. I don't think we need to read the whole thing.
No, we're not going to read the whole thing. But for me, as I read through it, I was like, it does make sense. Like, this makes a lot more sense. And the one.
Well, should we go through the little headings he's got?
Okay, yeah, let's go through. You can read them off.
So the first is that the term broken heart is not the droid's diagnosis.
That's right.
Because obviously he's referring there to, even though he said there wasn't like a real, you couldn't see what was killing her. He didn't say it was a broken heart.
Yeah,
basically.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't say that, and it's true. He just he says that he doesn't know why, but we're losing.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the argument there is also that it's also not like she just like gave up the will to live, because you could see in her face that she was trying to hold on. She's just got two twins.
I always said, I was like, as a mother, she'd be like, I've just given birth to these kids. I have to live for them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And then the second one was Anakin's force choke didn't kill her, which I agree with. There's no way that, but that probably could have injured her, and definitely could have killed the kids.
Well, I don't think he cut off the oxygen long enough.
I reckon that's why Luke's so dumb in the beginning. Lack of oxygen.
But yeah, he held her. And then he let her go, and she was unconscious, but she wasn't dead. You could see that she was alive, and also after that, she speaks to Obi-Wan, so we know she's alive after that scene. So the Force choke didn't kill her.
The third bit is that the droids don't know squat about the Force, which again, what I was just saying. Not only do they not actually say she died of a broken heart, but they can interpret if it was the Force pulling her life signs away anyway. I think that's basically what she's saying.
Which is. Medically, she's completely healthy for reasons we can't explain.
What they do say is that we don't know why she's lost the will to live. We need to operate quickly if we're to save the babies, which I guess means remove the babies, not they need to operate to fix something then.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she does say, they do say she's lost the will to live, which I don't agree with. I definitely don't agree with that. But, again, you're taking a droid's interpretation of emotion.
Yeah.
So I think that's his point, really, there, isn't it?
Next
one is the whole Darth Plagueis story.
Plagueis the Wise.
Old Sheev telling his little stories.
Yeah.
So he's basically took. And again, this is just a whole theory about using that theory to actually. That's how he brought Vader back to life.
And what he says there is Palpatine already knew how to influence the midichlorians to create life and save people from dying. And this is where we go into he used her life force to give Vader his life. Give him his life.
The next one is about sensing Lord Vader in danger. And this, to me, was never a question, really, because the Emperor's whole point is he sees across the bloody universe.
Yeah,
he is all
we
seeing.
knew that, but I think that it's just to point out that he can sense
affect
Padme. If he senses Vader, and he knows Vader has an attachment to Padme, and he can sense Padme, so he would know that she's there.
But there is a contradiction later on in this article where they say that the Emperor doesn't know where she is.
He says she doesn't know where she is. He can sense her life force, but he can't tell exactly where she is.
Yeah. But she knows that he's dead. Anyway, she was alive. I felt it.
That sensing Vader, that would make sense because he knew Vader was on Mustafar. He sent him there.
And in pain.
So he can sense his life, and now he knows he's in trouble. Well, he's like, I sent him there, so I go there.
This next bit.
He was alive. I felt it.
Yeah, this is interesting. This one's a bit. So, Anakin knew she was definitely alive, and then suddenly felt that he wasn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, yeah.
So that's saying. So
Anakin has come out of being rebuilt because they also point out that obviously Anakin was awake for the whole time that he was being rebuilt into the armor of Vader. So he's sensed her being alive the whole time, and then all of a sudden he doesn't sense her. And he's saying to Vader, he's saying to Palpatine, "Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right?" Because maybe for him from that point, he's not sure because he's been put in this new suit. Have things changed in the way he senses things? And that's where Palpatine relishes by being a dick to Vader and telling him that he killed her.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the main thrust of his argument. What I like are these side follow-up little theories.
Yeah.
One being that actually was it Vader sucking the life from her unconsciously, basically. That's one way of looking at it. He actually pulls the thing from her. There's a great bit about the heartbeat sounds that you can hear as Padme dies and Anakin as he's being reborn. And they would both her heartbeats stop, but then only Vader's comes back after he's turned into Vader. So it said he actually did die and then became. So he is actually a rebirth of Vader. I like that. And then there's the other theory around that Vader always knew that his life was dependent on the Emperor supplying him, and that basically there's Vader's leash theory that if the Emperor was killed or anything, he knew he would die, which adds to the whole Return of the Jedi and him killing the Emperor or chucking him down, and a bit more sacrifice. So some really interesting things there. So what do you think, Jay? First of all, what's your total view on this?
The more that I read it, the more I was like, this kind of makes sense, and it actually is a better story, right?
It's a cooler story,
much better story. So because when Rob sent me that, he said, what do you think of this? Like, do you think this is actually what happened? And I'm just having a look, because I did look at this yesterday on the Wikipedia, and it was about Padme's death. And it doesn't say that she died of a broken heart or lost the will to live. It just says that she died. And
well, this is it, because I never actually realised that or ever thought that there was a real firm thing saying she had died of a broken heart. I thought it was just what fans would take. I thought it was the fans that were taking the piss out of it that were saying that anyway. So I never really.
All right, so it just says, I was unable to face what would happen to Skywalker and had lost the will to live, at least according to the medical droid. That's the actual canon.
Yeah.
She lost the will to live according to the medical droid.
Yeah, which we knew.
And then it just says, and her body shut down. Her body began to shut down despite the efforts of those to save her.
It's true from a certain point of view,
which he also says in this article. So, I think it's a really, really good theory. And after reading through it and seeing what he says, I sort of think, yeah, and because of what they were saying about how you interpret things, I would choose to interpret it this way, because it makes Sidious far more sinister, right? Like that he done that, and it kind of makes more sense because her death was stupid. It was really, really stupid. So it's just like, okay, yeah, and I like the theory, and he justifies everything. I mean, the guy says he's watched Revenge of Sith over 500 times. I haven't watched it over 500 times. So, you know...
I honestly think if, obviously, this story wasn't pre-written and that they had written the prequels first, I don't think Padme would have died, and if it was written by maybe a more character-driven author, because... It's actually more. I think it's more powerful that you've got her so against Vader, and that would be much. You know, her being alive would have been so much more interesting if he truly did turn to the dark side. But then, yeah, it's to be honest, there was no way they could get around her not dying, so they had to kill her.
Yeah,
but they had to do it in a way that didn't kill the two twins.
Yeah,
and it seemed to had a lot to do in that, because also whoever wrote that article, I can't remember the bloke's name, he's saying how much he loves that film and he's watched it 500 times or something. Which obviously this is a theory by a episode 3 apologist.
Yeah, of course.
Which is one point of view, and again, I love that film as well. I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
with it.
I like number 3.
So, but it seems to me he's overcompensating a little bit for the fact that end is shoehorned in, and they really are trying to do a lot. And he was like applauding it for the fact that they didn't like do some kind of voiceover explanation of what happened, and that they showed all the different scenes. But well, actually, it was quite clunky in some ways.
It's not as clever as he makes out, but
no.
But the way that he has gone through and justified it, I do
it works for me.
That, and I would go with that, because in the canon it just says they didn't know why, so it could have happened that way.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what? Go on,
what?
carry on.
No, you tell me what.
Well, I was just going to say, I would really love to know what the viewers and listeners think about this. The article's there now on the group, so people should join the Star Wars conversation group and leave their comments there. Leave comments here. We'd love to get a conversation going about this.
I want to know. It's all I want to know at the moment. What are our listeners thinking?
Right, so that's that for Around the Rim, Colin, unless you've got anything more to add.
Nothing on Around the Rim, but I have got a very quick Colin's Comic Corner. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, I'm not going to get into lots of detail on this, but I've read the last 2 parts of the Screaming Citadel.
Okay.
And so they not compromise. What's the word I'm trying to look for? Comprised. Comprised. That'd be the word. They are made up of Star Wars issue 8. No, that's Dr. Alpha issue 8, and Star Wars issues 32. They are the last 2 parts of this.
Cool.
And so look, all I want to say is the Star Wars 32 was the better one. The art was fantastic as well as the writing. Mm-hmm. So that was done by Jason Aaron and Salvador LaRocca. So great art, great writing. The last part, the Dr. Alpha one, obviously wrapping it up, finished by the writer Kieran Gillen, who I think he started the first issue that was a standalone, and then the art is by Andrea Broccarado or something like that. So look, I'm not going to get into all the story details because I don't really want to ruin it for people. It's okay. It's a bit of a letdown considering such a strong start. It's all right.
I was really interested in it at the beginning.
The Star Wars issue 32 bit, which was the 4th part, it was better than the last part. I just thought it wrapped up a bit too quickly. It does end up with Luke versus the alien queen thing, whatever she is. There's some really interesting bits where Han and the Black Christian or whatever his name is, the
I'm
Wookiee
guessing
thing.
Luke kills her because we haven't seen her since.
Yeah. So this is my point. First of all, I would have preferred this to be a mini-series, not a crossover, because I felt the art changes in the different issues was too jarring.
Yeah.
It started off with a one-shot, which had the most amazing art in it. I really love the art. I wish I could remember the artist's name, because I really can't.
Go back a few episodes.
Yeah, go back a few episodes. And then Salvador LaRocque is a really solid artist, but the guy that's covering Dr. Alpha instead of Kev Walker is a cartoony artist.
Yes.
And it just doesn't flow.
Yeah.
And because it was the last issue of the story, I was hoping it was going to bookend with another single issue or something, but it hasn't. And so it's just I just felt a bit let down because it didn't have the scale that first artist brought into it. So I think that's probably why I feel a bit let down. They should have
ended it with that artist as well, like gone out on that.
But what would have been even better was to have it as a mini-series with the same artist. And I think that would have really helped it.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable. It was okay, pretty good. It was a good story. I think ultimately, and it's introduced something slightly different into the Star Wars universe in terms of this parasite alien that takes over people. And like I say, a couple of different characters get taken into it, and there's a couple of funny moments with the two death droids. But really, goes back to what we've said throughout the whole of this episode. What was the point? What's it changed? Has it really brought anything?
If you don't read it, it makes no difference to your...
The only two things in it really that changed was Luke learned that to be a Jedi is about just letting go and being peaceful, which I think he already learned that from Obi-Wan. And then there's Dr. Aphra sort of being told that she's a bit of a cow, basically. And she already knew that.
As well, yeah.
So, and then obviously you find out that Sana had a bit of a relationship with Dr. Aphra before. But,
wow.
So there you go. It was all right. I'll give the whole story 8 out of 10, but I'll give the last 2 issues for 5 out of 10. So it sort of dipped down a bit in quality as it went down.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's my review. Thank you, my old chum.
Is that's the only comics you've read?
They've released. Don't buy this, guys. This is a quick warning. They've released a thing called Star Wars Droid something. I can't remember what it's called, which I thought was a new comic. It was a reprint of those shitty backup stories that have been in there.
God, no.
So
my God.
Whatever you do not buy that if
Wow.
you hate them like I did, because I've now got them twice.
Oh man, what a
and I also got the latest issue of Poe Dameron, but I'm only halfway through it because it wasn't that exciting. More on that next time, guys.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay, well, I think that's it for this week then, isn't it, Colin?
Yeah, just want to tell you to check out the Taylor Network.
Yeah.
There's lots of great podcasts on that. We're one of them. We're probably the best one.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not.
Nah, we're the best there.
Also, so there's loads of great stuff on that. Nothing's on. Double Page Spread. Double Page Spread's almost coming up to its 200th episode soon.
Ooh, awesome.
It's on 190 now, so well done, Wendy. So loads of good ones on it. The other quick thing I just want to say was Peter Rios, who does the Daily Rios podcast, and obviously he was one of the founding members of the Comic Geek, real great bloke. He recently talked about us on his show and read one of my emails and stuff like that. So thanks for the shout out, and you're awesome.
For that.
And he also talked a lot about the other. He talked also about some of the other shows on Taylor Network, including Culture Trapping, which he says is the best podcast on podcasts at the moment. So I think he meant us.
Oh, okay.
Well, he obviously got confused.
Must have.
Okay.
Cool. And other than that, you can find us both on the Star Wars Conversations group on Facebook, where you should join.
Join that.
You can find us on Twitter. Colin is at
Captain Colin.
And I'm at Eagle1933. This video, comment below. Let us know what you think about all the different topics. Hit the like button and subscribe. And if you hit that little bell there, that will let you know whenever we put up a new video as well. So it's well worth your time.
Yeah, and if you're a podcast listener, leave us a review. And just tell us what you think.
So that's it for us. Until next time,
Punch it, Chewie!
may the force be with you.